When you come to Kvarner, treat yourself to an experience you will remember. Enjoy the luxurious ambience. Experience superior service. Indulge in endless pleasures. The pearl of the tourism offer in the pearl of the Adriatic. Liburnia, Hotels and Villas.
Well, good morning, everybody, from Grobnik, Croatia. It's the big day. It's the season finale for both the EuroNASCAR 2 and EuroNASCAR Pro categories. It is the finals day for the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series, and we have two intense title fights to bring you today. The first of which is by far the closest. It's the battle for the EuroNASCAR 2 overall championship and indeed the Rookies Championship. It is the fight between Alberto Nasca and Liam Hasemans. After yesterday's race, where Liam Hasemans once again took victory, it's just 3 points between Nasca and Hasemans at the top. 376 for Alberto Nasca, and Liam Hasemans 3 points back on 373. Behind them, Martin Dubek, all but out of contention, aside from some significant dramas potentially happening up ahead of him. Dubek 54 back, he's pretty much out of contention. The same goes for everyone further back behind him. You see that Melvin de Groot is our Legend Trophy points leader, 7th overall as well. Luli Del Castello with another strong result yesterday, leading the Lady Trophy points, and the battle for the Rookie Trophy standings is much the same, with NASCAR and Hasemans fighting for the Rookie Trophy as well as the overall title. It's not the first time that we've had rookies to the fore in EuroNASCAR 2. However, it has been an incredible season, and it's been a delight to see these two young drivers get so quick, so promptly in the world of EuroNASCAR. Alberto Nasca was there at the sharp end from race number 1. After several years racing slower cars at the national level, he adapted to EuroNASCARs wonderfully. And for Liam Hasemans, Valencia, our season opener, marked the very first outing in a competitive environment in a race car for Liam Hasemans. He'd done some karting, but he'd never done anything even close to the scale of driving these 400 brake horsepower V8 stock cars. And he has adapted to it magnificently, no doubt, with some tutoring from Twan, his father, from Mike, and from Loris, his brothers, as well. Liam Hasemans, a part of a big dynasty of racing drivers, but it's going to be a huge scrap here between the Dutch and Italian drivers, Liam Hasemans and Alberto Nasca, both carrying the hopes of their teams and many of their EuroNASCAR fan bases on their shoulders, their national fan bases, the Dutch EuroNASCAR fans, I'm sure, all rooting for Liam Hasemans. And I know there's a huge contingent of Italian supporters supporting Alberto Nasca, who of course has a huge following thanks to his platform on YouTube, and he will be documenting this weekend. The tone of that documentation will depend on this final race. He's already lost 10 points this weekend to Liam Hasemans, with Hasemans taking the win earlier on. The championship really is quite a simple equation at this point. If Alberto Nasca finishes ahead of Hasemans, that's it, fine, championship done. If Hasemans takes the win today, he wins the championship. And if Hasemans finishes 2 positions ahead of Alberto Nasca, he will take the championship. So if he takes 2nd place, for example, he will score 70 points. That's Hasemans. And 4th place for Nasca would score him 66. That would mean he loses 4 points and he would lose the championship with it. So it's either a win or 2 places greater than Nasca for Hasemans to take the title. All Nasca has to do is outscore the Dutchman, but beating Liam Hasemans has been anything but easy in these last couple of weekends. He has been on a tear. He's now equaled Alberto Nasca's number of victories. They've both got 5 wins this season, and Hasemans has taken 3 of them in the last 3 races. So he is on peak form right now. in the Hendricks Motorsport number 50 car. Of course, Alberto NASCAR's 88 is prepared by Cal Racing, and there is Liam Hasemans in the 50 car. He wheels the car out there for what is surely the biggest race of his life. Not the last race of the day either, of course, because he'll be taking to the track again in EuroNASCAR Pro later on. But this is the one where a title is on the line for Liam Hasemans. There's the 46 car. Miguel Gomez taking the wheel. That car came into some dramas during yesterday's race, ended up in the pit lane. One of the Marco Stipp Motorsport entries, the 48 car, regularly driven by Yevgen Sokolovsky. Sokolovsky was never scheduled to be here this weekend. We weren't expecting him at the wheel, but he decided to hand the car over to none other than Mike, David Ortmann and Hugo Sasser, the ADAC GT4 Germany champions who were crowned just last week over at the Hockenheimring. However, the car had a throttle stuck open in qualifying in the hands of Hugo Sasser, and that unfortunately didn't write the car off, but certainly made sure it wasn't repairable for this weekend. So Sasser and Ortmann on the sidelines. Meanwhile, Yevgen Sokolovsky represents Ukraine at the FIA Motorsport Games, and we wish him well in that endeavour. So then, we're a car shorter than we thought we would be this weekend, but we've got a hugely strong grid, as we have had all year in EuroNASCAR 2. So many class drivers in this category as well. And we have VIPs and supporters taking to the track now, as we get ready for the countdown to green. There you see the countdown to the command, the start your engines command. We are just over 11 minutes away, or just under 11 minutes away. And picture opportunities being taken. You saw there a few shots of the Corvette that is doing the formation laps this weekend. We got a good few shots of that car earlier on. Chevy Corvette C3 of a late 70s, early 80s vintage. I believe late 70s. It looks like one of the earlier ones. But a fabulous car. Part of what the EuroNASCAR category is all about, and that's bringing Americana to Europe. We always have a great representation of classic American cars, and look at that, it's even got the Indianapolis Motor Speedway on the number plate there. So I don't know whether that is an official ex-Indy pace car. I know it's a Chevy Corvette C3, but that's about the extent of my knowledge of that particular car. If you are an American car enthusiast, you should always make your way to your closest NASCAR Whelen Euro Series event, because there are always a plethora of car clubs from across the world, or across the European nation. Lots of American car clubs take the opportunity to showcase their machines here as NASCAR, EuroNASCAR brings the V8 Thunder to your neighborhood. So then the 69 car, that is Melvin de Groot. He has all but wrapped up the Legend Trophy category. Of course, he shares that car with Sebastian Bleekemolen, who had a good run in qualifying yesterday in EuroNASCAR Pro. He's up again towards the sharp end of the order. Another car towards the sharp end of the order is Vladimiros Tsiotsis' number 5 car, and we see that Andre Vigol is stationed with him now.
I'm here with the pole sitter Vladimiros Tsiotsis. I think the goal is just pull away and keep out of the championship battle?
Yeah, we have no other choice, just to win today, nothing more.
What about starting from pole? What are the challenges you face going into turn 1?
Yeah, just a good start, you know, to go with the green light on time and just keep pushing. We show our pace this weekend, we deserve it. Everyone knows that, and I will do what I can do today because it's my main goal for today, you know.
All right, thank you so much and good luck.
So there you go, Vladimir Osiortsis, who will start at the front of the order. He will be joined on the front row by Liam Hazeemans, who I have no doubt we'll hear from before we get this race underway. Hazeemans, who, yes, will be hoping in a sense that Siortsis doesn't get himself involved in the championship battle, but Hazeemans knows that to secure the championship, one of the best things he could do is win the race. Let's see what his objectives are going into this season decider.
Liam Hazeemans, did you do the math before the race?
Yeah, definitely. I know I have to win. So, yeah, if I finish second and Alberto third, he wins the championship by 1 point. So, just have fun out there. Try to enjoy the most of it. And, yeah, it should be fine for me, I think, hopefully.
All right, thank you so much and good luck.
Super, thank you.
There you go. He knows what's going on. Liam Hazeemans is cognizant of the situation. If NASCAR finishes fourth and Hazeemans finishes second, though, that would give Hazeemans the championship by 1 point. So he doesn't have to win, but he would have to rely on a slightly off-kilter race for the 88 driver Alberto NASCAR if he doesn't win. So Hazeemans, yes, his best chance of taking the championship is a victory or indeed misfortune for Alberto NASCAR. It's going to be a compelling motor race. That much is for certain. We saw yesterday a great duel between Alberto NASCAR and Vladimir Osiortsis as Liam Hazeemans streaked away to take victory. NASCAR will be looking for a better car today than he had yesterday. It looked like he was struggling. Let's see if they've worked on the machine.
Thank you so much. I'm here with Alberto NASCAR. You did the warm-up this morning. Did you change something on the car?
Well, I'm not confident with the setup, so it's too late to try and change something because changing something would mean revolutionize the car, so that was not the way. So I changed my driving, which was the thing that yesterday made me struggle in the second part of the race. It gave benefits because I did 29.8 with super mega old tires, so it means that now I can go much faster than yesterday. But I have to adapt myself to the car, so it's not going to be easy. I have no strategy. I will just improvise and see what happens in the front. I hope that today Tsiortis will make a good start because that will be the key. Because I think Tsiortis is faster than Hazeemans, so if Tsiortis can stay in front, he can run away. So we'll see how it goes after turn 2.
What about the communication with your spotter? Is he having a calculator there ready to give you the information about the points?
I already know the points. So Tsiortis must win the race and I must finish behind Hazeemans. If Hazeemans wins the race, there's nothing I can do.
All right. Good luck and have fun.
Thank you. Bye.
There you go, Alberto NASCAR, very aware of the permutations as well. And interesting to hear that he was doing 28s on old tyres. If that proves to be accurate, I mean, we saw 28.8s as pole times yesterday. If they have kind of coached him into a slightly different driving style for today, and it's paying off to that extent, then we could see quite the race from Alberto NASCAR. He was struggling yesterday. We heard him after qualifying saying, the tyre pressures are all wrong, the car doesn't feel good, and he was really struggling to hold on to the back of Hazeemans yesterday. One driver who doesn't have to worry about this championship lark at all is down there with Andre Viegold.
I'm here with Neo Lambert, the runner-up of the Club Challenge 2022, but now you're in EuroNASCAR 2 and a decent starting position. You're doing well, right?
Yeah, for me it's kind of surprising for me for my first one here in Croatia. Yeah, 6. So the goal today is just bringing the car home safe, and we'll see how it goes.
Merci beaucoup. Good luck.
Thank you. Thank you.
There you go, Neo Lambert joining in for this weekend. We saw him have a bit of an off, but also showed some great pace yesterday in the first EuroNASCAR 2 race. And of course, he is now starting from 6th place. And the grid for this race is determined by the fastest laps from the Saturday race. So that's a great example of just how quick Neo Lambert looked yesterday. Of course, we should say as well, congratulations to Gordon Barnes, who won the Club Challenge, the kind of regularity element of EuroNASCAR on Friday. And we now go to car number 23. Andre.
And yesterday you had an amazing fight with Claudio Capelli. In general, in this season, you showed us some really, really good action. Do you like this track so much?
Yeah, the track is really nice, really fast. It's so hard to overtake here, but I like the track so much.
Any goals for today's race?
In finish lisää kaasua joka paikkaan ja sitten Henkalla on kadonnut viiksi vähän, niin vähän jännittää kuinka sillä illalla menee.
Thank you so much. I think this was for his home fans.
There you go, sprinkling a little bit of finish into the broadcast there. And it's interesting, isn't it? So often the circuits where people say, you know what, overtaking's quite difficult, seem to be the ones that the drivers enjoy the most. And that was absolutely the case here at Grobnik. Overtaking is definitely very possible. We've seen it happen, but there aren't as many sharp braking zones here at this circuit. So therefore, it can be a little bit tricky to make the overtakes happen. But because the layout is so well suited to these EuroNASCAR machines, it means that the drivers really do thrive in their cars. So then it's about 90 seconds until the command is given to start engines. It's going to be very exciting racing, this one. You've heard the championship permutations out of the mouth of the two championship contenders. NASCAR knows the situation. If Hasemans wins, he is champion. If Hasemans finishes 2 positions ahead of NASCAR, he is champion. So it's imperative for him to avoid a Hasemans victory. And also, if he doesn't finish ahead of Hasemans, he needs to be right on his back bumper. If he does finish 1 position behind Hasemans, for example, if Hasemans is 2nd and NASCAR is 3rd, well, guess what? That means that there's 1 point between them going into the decider. It's 80 points for a win here today, 70 points for 2nd, 68 points for 3rd, and it again continues to go down by 2 points as you go down the order. So the maths remains the same whether they finish 2nd or 3rd or 12th and 13th between Hasemans and NASCAR. In either scenario, it would be NASCAR winning by a point. And we are 20 seconds away from the demands, and here it comes now.
Who will say the famous sentence? Our main sponsor, Mr. Milivoje Mikovic!
Drivers, start your engines!
Milivoje Mikovic there giving the command to start engines, and that's exactly what the drivers have done. He is from the Fracasso company, sponsor of the NASCAR GP Croatia, and we're so happy to be partnered with them for this weekend. So thank you to Milivoje and the entire organisation. Milivoje Mikovic from Fracasso, and Fracasso doing a great job helping us bring the sights and sounds of the NASCAR Whelen Euro Series to Croatia for another title decider. Of course, we've already announced our 2023 calendar. We know that we're going to a great number of these venues again, and we're going to have the All-Star race, a non-championship affair with some guest drivers here at Croatia for next year. We also know that we're going to make a return to Germany at Oschersleben, which will be an exciting addition to the calendar also. Quite a narrow, tight circuit at Oschersleben, and I'm sure that means that the Team FJ guys are going to have to bring a few more spare panels than normal for that weekend in 2023. No more spares, no more repairs for the drivers of EuroNASCAR 2, though, because we're on to the formation lap for the final time in 2022, and it will be Vladimiros Tsiotsis who leads them away from pole position in the number 5 car. Tsiotsis on pole. He is joined by one of the 2 championship contenders in the form of Liam Hasemans. Liam Hasemans needs to win or finish 2 positions clear of Alberto Nasca to claim the victory in the championship. Nasca with a 3-point advantage. They're in 3rd place on the grid alongside last year's champ Martin Dubek. Will that prove to be a champion's row? It's Melvin de Groot in 5th place. He has all but secured the Legend Trophy, and Neo Lambert on his debut outside of Club Challenge in 6th place. Christian Malcharek in 7th. He's joined by Thomas Pontinen, who we heard from on the grid. Row 5 is the number 3 car. Ulis Del So, a former EuroNASCAR 2 champion. He is joined on row 5 by Claudio Remigio Capelli, starting from 10th place, and he'll look to work his way up the order over the course of this race. This is turn 5. This is Rijeka, a corner that looked like it was challenging a few drivers yesterday. Certainly Alberto Nasca was struggling to meet the apex at both turn 5 and turn 15-16. Turn 5 is Rijeka. Turn 15-16 is the Zagreb corner. Both named for where they would end up if you just went that way straight on as the crow flies. The Rijeka bend in the direction of Rijeka, and Zagreb bend, turn 15-16, in the direction of the nearby Zagreb. But never mind what's nearby. It's all about the Automotodrom Grobnik right now. 17 corners and 17 laps for the EuroNASCAR Pro guys, 14 laps for these EuroNASCAR 2 competitors to decide the championship. It's going to be a duel between Liam Hazeemans and Alberto Nasca. One last reminder before we get started of the points situation. There are 3 points between Hazeemans and Nasca. Hazeemans is currently not going to win the championship unless he wins the race or finishes 2 positions clear of Alberto Nasca. So, for example, if they finish 4th and 5th, 8th and 9th, whatever it may be, as long as Nasca is not more than 1 position behind Hazeemans, he will secure the championship by a single point. However, if Hazeemans can take that front row and turn it into a victory, he will be our champion. If Nasca has a bad race and falls down the order, Hazeemans will be champion. We'll update you on the situation as the race unfolds. But for now, the situation is simple. It's 2x2 formation. It's well over 5,000 brake horsepower's worth of V8 motors trundling around for the final time behind the Chevrolet Corvette C3 that will peel off into the pit lane. And then we will be underway for 14 laps of racing for the final time in the 2022 EuroNASCAR 2 season. We're awaiting the green lights, and it's going to be a dramatic start to this one. Liam Hazeemans will no doubt be on the offensive as they go to green, and go to green they do now. It's a drag race down to the first corner. Siortsis with the inside for turn 2. We've got a car immediately damaged in the back of shot. Not sure who that is, but Hazeemans is into the lead. Hazeemans doing everything he needs to do in the first couple of corners. It's Liam Hazeemans that leads. Liam Hazeemans in the 50 car, leading the way around the first couple of corners. If things were to finish right now, he would be champion. But Vladimiros Siortsis, we know what pace he has around the Automotodrom Grobnik. He was the quickest driver of anybody yesterday in qualifying. So you heard it from Alberto Nasca earlier on today. He said, you know what, we know that Siortsis is quicker than Hazeemans. And now Vladimiros Siortsis really needs to do Alberto Nasca a favour and prove it. Siortsis, if he finishes second there and Hazeemans wins it, the championship is Liam Hazeemans. And he would actually win it by quite a margin as well if Nasca finishes third. So as it stands, it's Hazeemans in the championship position, but he's got 14 laps to withstand the pressure of Vladimiros Siortsis. The top 2 already well clear of Nasca in third place. You heard it earlier on from Alberto Nasca. He has had to change his driving style, and Siortsis into the back of Liam Hazeemans there. That was rather rude on the first lap of the race, and that's brought Alberto Nasca back into it. We saw Siortsis and Nasca yesterday running at very close quarters and managing to avoid contact at all costs, but that wasn't the case there. I think Hazeemans just trying to get to the apex, and Siortsis had his nose there. The two met in the middle, and that almost ended in tears on lap number 1. Hazeemans then in the lead of the race. He's already had a spike in heart rate, I'm sure, with that contact. And Hazeemans it is onto lap 2 of the race in the lead, but Vladimiros Siortsis is there, and I get the feeling that he's going to be there all race long. And just getting a shot there of the 56 car in the pit lane. So we've got issues there further back for Nicolo Rocca. So Nicolo Rocca with some dramas there. A shame for, oh, rather not Nicolo Rocca. I'm looking at EuroNASCAR Pro. My apologies. Of course, that's Gil Linster in the 56 Cal Racing car at the moment. And that was, I believe, the car that was quite heavily damaged in the run down to turn 1 and 2. Vladimiros Siortsis once again closing in on Liam Hasemans. We saw how close together they got around this section on lap number 1. Well, let's brace and wait for lap number 2. Again, he's looked to the inside. Again, Hasemans tries to shut the door. And again, I think a slight nibble of contact, but this time it didn't send Hasemans sideways, at least. Melvin de Groot is there in 4th. Dubek in 5th. Neo Lambert there in 6th place ahead of Thomas Ponton, Christian Maltrek, Capelli and Ulis Del So. That was our top 10 last time by. We'll see how it evolves this time. But what we know for a fact is that Liam Hasemans is currently in championship position, albeit with the Cypriot star Vladimiros Siortsis all over the back of him. And Siortsis challenging. He was very quick around turn 5 and indeed turns 15 and 16. Yesterday, we saw him up against AutoNASCAR, really trying to challenge and often putting his nose to the inside, and we've already seen him do that a couple of times today. And Vladimiros Siortsis continues to pressure. Once again, he gets a good run out of 13 and along this back straight with a little bit of a kink in the middle. The kink is referred to as turn 14. Here they come up to Zagreb Bend once again. And no move made. No, this time Hasemans was quite guarded to the inside line there. Siortsis from NASCAR, from de Groot, from Dubek. That's your top 5. Back in 6th place, Thomas Pontonen has got past Neo Lambert. And that 6th place battle has fallen off the top 5. AutoNASCAR won't be too happy to see people closing in the rearview mirrors. The last things he needs is to lose more positions or be at risk of losing more positions. But I think if you're a Melvin de Groot, you'll be thinking, well, I want the overall podium. I wouldn't mind betting that Martin Dubek is thinking exactly the same. I'm not sure AutoNASCAR is going to get a free pass from either of the drivers behind him. Meanwhile, Hasemans still there at the sharp end, and this is going to be a tense remaining 10 laps. We're on lap 4 of 14, and someone has hit the tyre barriers hard. It's Miguel Gomez, and surely with the car in that position, we're going to have this race paused. He must have been side by side with someone or something like that to collect the tyre barrier at pit entry. We saw one of the tyres rolling about aimlessly on the main straight. I wouldn't be surprised if this race is paused as a result of that. Gil Linster out of the Cal Racing machine. The yellow flags and the safety car already waved. And the safety car has been deployed, as is the sensible decision after what looks to have been quite a major hit for Miguel Gomez, Portuguese racer. And so the safety car for the first time this weekend within EuroNASCAR 2 makes its way out there. And there is a look at the damage to Gil Linster. Now, we saw a car with front end damage on the run to turn 1 on lap number 1. And I'm guessing that front end damage matches the rear end damage on Linster's car. I'm still not sure exactly who had that big front end damage on the run down to turn 1. But for now, the front end damage we're focusing on is that to the 46 car of Miguel Gomez, and that is what has triggered this safety car. And obviously, as a rule, we go 2 by 2 here, and that's going to make things difficult for Liam Hasemans for sure. Hasemans and Siortsis, per the rule of the of precedent in the first safety car restart, it's always double file, and that would mean that Siortsis suddenly has to defend up against the might of, or rather, Hasemans has to defend up against the might of Siortsis, and that is going to be nerve-wracking stuff for what is currently our champion-elect. If Hasemans claims this win, he will be champion. The maths is that simple. But if he finishes second place with NASCAR in third, the NASCAR will be our champion by a solitary point. Who's into the pits? It's a 72 car of Mikael Bleekemolen. So Bleekemolen, who was running just inside the top 20, is unfortunately withdrawn from the race now. Let's run you through the order then on lap 5 of the race. It's Liam Hasemans who leads from Vladimiros Siortsis in second place, Alberto Nasca and Melvin de Groot in third and fourth place. We understand, incidentally, that Miguel Gomez is okay, thanks to Andre Viegold, our eye in the paddock, for that information. Martin Dubeck is fifth place, Thomas Pontonen in sixth. Getting a replay at the start here from a different angle. Let's see if we can spot what happened to cause all of that damage further back. Ah, okay, yes. So Gil Linster turned in front of, I believe that's the 27 potentially of Patrick Schauber. And that is what dislodged bodywork on both machines. And you see there that the 46 car is rather crumpled. Just to run you through the rest of the top 10, I think we got to Dubeck in 5th place, Thomas Pontonen in 6th, Christian Malterex there in 7th, ahead of Claudio Remeggio Capelli, Ulis Del So and Leonardo Colavita making up our top 10 right now. Patrick Schauber in the 27 car, which I believe was the car that had its bodywork dislodged there. He is able to continue on, and he is, I understand, in 12th place right now. And there you see some of the errant bodywork on the circuit. I think there will be a lap or two before we get the safety car off the circuit, with the recovery process ongoing for Miguel Gomez 46 car. So Hasemans waiting with bated breath, as we all are, to get this race back underway. He's going to be conscious of the fact that Vladimiros Siortsis could reclaim that position from him. Alberto Nasca is going to be conscious that it's an opportunity for him to net a position that will win him the championship. It could also put him further down the order, of course, with everyone bunched back together under a restart. So as much as it could be a positive for Siortsis, it could also be a negative. So I'm sure that Vladimiros Siortsis is on the edge of his seat, waiting to see, or rather, Alberto Nasca is on the edge of his seat, waiting to see exactly how it plays out for him. Siortsis really is the joker in all of this, though, because he has the power to win Alberto Nasca a championship. If Nasca can't get past Hasemans, then Siortsis can try, and if Siortsis succeeds, it will be Hasemans out of the championship position. It will be Nasca that wins the championship if Siortsis claims the win over Hasemans. And that, of course, is assuming that Nasca still finishes in 3rd place. The most basic interpretation of the championship proceedings is that if Hasemans wins, he's champion no matter what. If he finishes 2nd or below, NASCAR needs to be at least 2 places further back. So if Hasemans finishes 2nd, NASCAR finishes 4th, then it will be Hasemans' championship. But if Hasemans finishes 2nd and NASCAR finishes 3rd, NASCAR will claim the title by a solitary point. So lap 6 of the race. We're still under safety car. We're still going to be under safety car for at least another lap. We'll get a look at the main straight here and see how likely we are to be underway anytime soon. I certainly don't anticipate... well, is the car on the flatbed? Yes, in fact, I think the car is on the flatbed. So, depending on how much debris there is to pick up and how much rebuild work they have to do on that tyre stack, we could be underway this lap. I think it will definitely be this lap or the next one that we're back underway, but we'll wait for confirmation from the safety car or from the race control in regards to the fate of the safety car. It's lap 7 of the race then. We're at half distance, and for the first time this weekend, the EuroNASCAR 2 field is being controlled by a safety car. Good to see that the 36 car is back out there at the moment. We saw it flame out in the hands of Vittorio Girelli yesterday, but Zoran Kastratovic is out there. So he's a non-championship proposition this weekend in the Not Only Motorsport 36 car, but it is good to see that the car is back out there. That hopefully means that Vittorio Girelli will get the chance to race again later on today. One of the best views in the house, potentially, although I think I'd be too distracted by the racing to actually competently do any actual hang gliding if that was my position up there at the top of the skybox, as it were, if we were using gaming vocabulary. In fact, I think I'd be so fixated on the cars that I'd end up landing somewhere in the circuit grounds, which I don't think would be greatly appreciated. So then, as we've seen a few times, this circuit has an airfield directly next to it. There are some light aircraft on the go pretty much all the time. It really is a place where the motor, be it airborne or on the tarmac, is embraced here in Grobnik. Easemans then on lap 8 of the race. We'll be starting lap 8 of the race this time. You see there that the tyre stack, what's left of it, is back into position after the Miguel Gomez incident. Gomez's car is out of the way, so I'm of the opinion that this could be the final lap behind safety car, but we'll wait and see whether that gets declared. Certainly I'm not seeing the recovery vehicle anywhere out there on track. For so many of you tuning in to watch AutoNASCAR, and really coming into Zolder, AutoNASCAR felt like the champion already. He was so far ahead, his results had been so strong that in pretty much everyone's eyes he was the championship favourite. However, Zolder was a treacherous weekend for the Italian. And with the points dropped, the 2 drop scores at the end of Zolder, suddenly Grobnik became a lot more important. Yesterday he didn't claim the win. He managed to hold on to 2nd place, and he managed to hold on to a 3-point championship lead. But if things were to finish as they are, the championship would fall to Liam Hasemans at the last possible opportunity. It's going to be a flying double file restart in just a few corners' time, because we are seeing the safety car in this lap. We are going to go racing, and it's going to be Liam Hasemans and Vladimir Osiortis side by side once again into turn 1. What can Hasemans do this time? Hasemans from 2nd place from the outside on the first restart. Procedure cancelled. 1 more lap behind safety car. Okay. Well, we're all getting excited for the restart, but the restart is no more. So 1 more lap behind the safety car. just to spike the tension a little bit more. We thought we were going back, but we are going to have to wait one more lap before we go to green flag. Okay, so we await the green flag. We await the duel to resume between CEST and Heijmans. While Heijmans and NASCAR are scrapping for championship glory, it's very much Vladimir CEST who was putting the pressure and the trouble to Liam Heijmans in the first few laps before the safety car was deployed. We still haven't seen exactly what happened with Miguel Gomez. I know that the camera crews will work hard to find it and put it in the highlights program that will appear towards the end of the week. So if you are curious, we will find an answer eventually, but my money would be on side by side between Gomez and another driver, and Gomez not quite realising that he'd run out of room until it was too late and collecting the tyres as a result. So, this time, the safety car is scheduled to be in this lap. Hopefully, we're true to our word on that, and the safety car does indeed make its way in. It's lap 9 of 14. I know that the graphics are always a lap behind in terms of the lap counter, but it is lap 9 that we're on now. We have completed 8, hence it says 8, but we are on lap 9 of the race, and it's going to be a dramatic run in the final 5 laps of racing. Of course, if safety cars do indeed breed safety cars, that would mean that that we may go to overtime. If we end up with a safety car right at the end of the race, then they would put us into overtime theoretically. That tends to be the procedure, and the overtime system is a 2-lap sprint to the finish. It was a 2-lap sprint to the finish in overtime that granted Liam Heijmans his first ever EuroNASCAR win at Brands Hatch. Up against NASCAR, he made his way up from 3rd to 1st in 2 laps, or realistically in 1 lap, of the Brands Hatch Indy circuit, and that started a run of form has continued ever since. There's the damaged 27 car of Schauber, and we saw that car in the wars at the very start of the race. But for now, we're delighted to say that the safety car in this lap bulletin has stayed on screen, confirmed that we will also have a double file restart. The thunder will once again sound through the valley here in Grobnik. We will be racing once again. Let's see whether Liam Heijmans can hold off Vladimir CEST for these final few laps. It's a reverse of the earlier situation at the start of the race. Of course, Heijmans starting in 2nd place. He had a different side of the circuit for the run to turn 1. And we know that with the banking, so turn 1 is that little right-hand kink, and then turn 2 is the first proper corner, the left-hander. And because the banking is quite prominent there at turn 2, often being on the outside is a good thing. So Vladimir CEST could be in a very good position here. It's going to be between Heijmans and CEST on the run down to the first corner. Will NASCAR get involved? He's directly behind Liam Heijmans now. As it stands, the championship will go to Liam Heijmans, but there's a long way to go and a short time to get there as we fire up the engines once again for a double file restart. The EuroNASCAR 2 season decider is back under green flag conditions, and we're racing once again. Looks like a good start from CEST and Heijmans, who has the lead into turn 2. Heijmans gets there. Does he get the car stopped? Yes, he does. He did everything he needed to do at turn 2 on that occasion. Just about held on to the lead, despite the efforts with 2nd place. Vladimiros Siotsis then is now once again doing Alberto NASCAR's work for him, really. NASCAR's there in third place, watching on with pressure from behind in the form of de Groot and Dubek. We are pretty much literally in the same situation we were in previously. The top two have already built a couple of car lengths over NASCAR in third place, and it's now down to Vladimiros Siotsis to determine exactly what happens in this championship fight. If Hasemans remains ahead of Siotsis with NASCAR in third place, then Hasemans will be our champion. If Hasemans wins, no matter where NASCAR finishes, he will be the champion. So then it's currently Liam Hasemans. If things were to end right now, Hasemans would be our champ, but he's got huge pressure from Vladimiros Siotsis, who's usually very good here at the Zagreb Bends. Turn 15, 16, again, closes right up to the quarter panel of Liam Hasemans. We saw them make contact on the very first lap of the race there. No contact on this occasion, but Hasemans has Siotsis in the rear view mirrors. Siotsis has the slipstream as they run down the main straight. And you see the cars fanning out further back. Some good scraps going on there. Hontonen and Capelli once again fighting for 6th and 7th place as they did yesterday. But we focus all of our attention on this battle. We're on lap 11 of 14. The clock is ticking down, and the championship is, quite frankly, slipping away from Alberto NASCAR. If things stay as they are, then it is Hasemans' championship to lose. But Vladimiros Siotsis is right on the bumper of Hasemans as they turn through 6, 7 and 8. He had a good run out of turn 5. He couldn't quite get to the corner first. Couldn't quite get the quarter panel alongside Liam Hasemans to try and get the nose inside. Liam Hasemans is doing just enough, and there's an incident further back. There are two cars off the circuit in the back of shot. Can't quite tell who they are, but it's critical for the championship. I have no doubt over that. I think one of them might have been Claudio Capelli. No, it couldn't have been, because that's Luli Del Castello who is in a spin. Now the question is, can we keep this race going, or will the safety car be deployed? That's the critical question. If the safety car is deployed, it will happen any moment now, because of course the pit exit is incoming. The top 5 well clear of everyone else right now. I believe the race is still live. Yes. No indication that we're getting a safety car, so hopefully everyone's gotten away from the scene of that incident okay. And Liam Hasemans is now bearing the pressure of Vladimiros Siotsis once again. Alberto NASCAR is closer now than he was to the back of Siotsis, but he really is putting all of his faith in the Cypriot driver. The vastly experienced and very successful Vladimiros Siotsis is really come into his own this season. As Look Quick from Valencia onwards has been extremely impressive. But now Alberto NASCAR is hoping for one last bit of magic from Vladimiros Siotsis. Of course, Siotsis arguably with something to prove this weekend. He's had 6 pole positions this year. Only one of those pole positions has been converted to a race victory. He knows that he has not quite had the results to back up his speed this year. And if he can get the last win of the season, then that would be ideal for him. However, if he does take that last win of the season, he will do so at the expense of Liam Hasemans' championship glory. And I'm sure Siotsis has that in the back of his mind, but I'm also well aware that he came into this weekend looking for a victory. The 33 car into the pit lane, that's Paul Dufresne with some issues. But we focus as we go on to the penultimate lap of the race on this duel between Hasemans and Siotsis. For Siotsis, it's a race win at stake. For Liam Hasemans, it's a championship. We saw Leonardo Colavita limping back into pit lane as well, so he was involved in that collision down at turn 8. But we focus on this battle for the lead. Capelli there in 7th place. I think we've also lost a couple of other cars, but it's the lead battle that we need to focus on right now. Hasemans just drifting wide in the first part of turn 5, but that could set him up nicely for a run out of the corner. However, he got a bit squiggly there, didn't he, getting out of turn 5. You must remember that these Hoosier tyres at this point have done 2 races and a qualifying session already, so they are going to be running out of grip. And Liam Hasemans, I think, is starting to run out of grip. Vladimiros Tsiotsis all over the back of him. This is the penultimate lap of the race. We are about to see whether Hasemans can withstand the pressure for just one more lap. It's the championship deciding lap in EuroNASCAR 2 that awaits them. This time they cross the line. We'll begin the final lap. And look at that run from Tsiotsis. He got right up to the back of Hasemans, a little bit of a touch between the two of them. And NASCAR is there with them now. So Alberto NASCAR, who had previously been a couple of car lengths behind, is now right on the back of Vladimiros Tsiotsis. He said it himself before. He didn't seem to think that a race win was even a possibility for himself on the pre-grid with Andre Viegold. He was talking about Vladimiros Tsiotsis taking the win and that being his key to the championship. Well, at the moment, it's Hasemans that's in the lead. It's Hasemans that's going to claim the championship. But there's one more lap between the two. There's one more lap for Tsiotsis to try and find a way past Liam Hasemans, and I'm sure receive a couple of drinks in the bar this evening from Alberto NASCAR if he can do it. However, it's Hasemans in the prime position, and on this lap through turn 5, Tsiotsis is nowhere near as close to Hasemans as he was on the previous occasions. And if anything, the closest battle on track now is between Nasta and Melvin de Groot. Hasemans wins, Hasemans is champion. It's that simple. Alberto NASCAR needs to finish one position behind Hasemans or win the race. If Hasemans is demoted to second place, NASCAR will take the championship. And this is the last opportunity now for anyone to defeat Liam Hasemans. Liam Hasemans is currently in championship position, but he's got Vladimiros Tsiotsis in the slipstream. Tsiotsis looking for a second win of the season. Is he going to dive to the inside at Zagreb? No, he doesn't, but he does carry more speed through the apex. He tries to get to the inside of Liam Hasemans, but Hasemans is having none of it, and the 50 car is still in the lead. We've got a car stopped there on the outside of turn 16, so the yellow flags ensure that no one can overtake Liam Hasemans. Hasemans takes the win and the EuroNASCAR 2 championship. Liam Hasemans has done it. He has defeated Alberto NASCAR at the final hurdle in the EuroNASCAR 2 championship. With that win and with NASCAR in third place, he scores 12 points more than Alberto NASCAR and claims the championship by a margin of just 9 points. Liam Hasemans, the youngster in his first season of car racing, has done it. Alberto NASCAR and the Cal Racing team have been struggling for pace here all weekend long, and it's worked against them, unfortunately. Liam Hasemans did everything he needed to do at the start in the Hendricks Motorsport number 50. He got ahead of Vladimiros Tsiotsis, and once he got to the lead, he would not relent. He was pushed sideways at one point by Tsiotsis. Tsiotsis did everything he possibly could to try and get past Hasemans to secure himself a race victory. Championship battle. What championship battle was Vladimiros Tsiotsis' overall opinion. However, Liam Hasemans did just enough to secure the title. And Alberto NASCAR will certainly be feeling a lot of disappointment right now. For a long time, this championship felt like his to lose. And my heart goes out to NASCAR and to his many supporters who are watching. So difficult to lose a title at the final hurdle. But it's exactly what happened. We all knew the permutations. We all knew how the points would affect things going into the season finale. And Liam Hasemans has worked it expertly to claim a championship. Of course, he claims that championship after 4 consecutive race wins. He's really come into his own towards the end of this EuroNASCAR 2 season. We know his brother has been back in the country throughout the Zolder and Croatia events, and I wonder if Loris Hasemans gave him a few extra tips, a little bit of extra information, so Liam Hasemans could come into the title decider with an edge. Well, the championship celebrations are going to go long into the night for Liam Hasemans. He joins Loris Hasemans in the family as a EuroNASCAR champion. Of course, Loris Hasemans at the moment is still our reigning EuroNASCAR Pro Champion, but we'll have a new EuroNASCAR Pro Champion by the end of today. It is Liam Hasemans in the Hendricks Motorsport Toyota Camry who has claimed victory. He will come down to the podium, he will park up, and I am very much looking forward to his interview with Andre Viegold. He's quite cool, calm and collected as a rule, Liam Hasemans, but I get the feeling that we're going to see a lot of animation out of the young Dutchman. He'd not raced anything except a go-kart before May of this year. The performance from Liam Hasemans has been absolutely stunning. And I believe he's going to give us a bit of a show. Here we go. Oh, he tries for the donut. Yeah, he gets it. Good stuff. Liam Hasemans celebrating. A championship well deserved. And the Hoosier tyres don't need to be preserved anymore. So burn them to your will, Liam Hasemans. He will be celebrating until the wheels literally fall off today after a delightful result. Hasemans and the Hendricks Motorsport team have worked so hard to get this young man up to speed. Of course, Twan Hasemans, father of Liam, sports car racing legend in his own right, has been tutoring Liam Hasemans all season long. I think Hasemans himself thought that the championship might be out of reach after a difficult weekend at Most, but he bounced back spectacularly at the final 2 rounds at Zolder and Grobnik. And now, as Andre Viegold helps him park, Liam Hasemans is going to get mobbed by the Hendricks Motorsport crew. I'm sure Andre will get a microphone in his general direction as soon as possible, but for now, we lap up the celebrations for Liam Hasemans. Alberto NASCAR is a sporting driver. He's struggled this weekend, and I think that Alberto NASCAR will be more than gentlemanly in defeat. He's worked very hard to try and get the championship this year, and it hasn't worked in his favour, unfortunately. But I do believe that NASCAR, a very sporting competitor, will be over the moon for Liam Hasemans once the dust has settled on this race today at Grobnik. Up onto the roof goes Liam Hasemans. And he's starting to revel in the glory, but it's not going to sink in for a long time that he is a EuroNASCAR champion. So many of the Hendricks Motorsport team have known this young man for a long time. I don't think even his most ardent supporters and friends in the paddock would have thought he'd be a champion on the first season, and isn't that great to see? Liam Hasemans in one of Loris's helmets, no less, giving a big hug to his brother Loris there, and some of the number 7 Hendricks team present as well. And such delight from Liam Hasemans. But it was great to see that embrace with his brother. Loris, his biggest supporter. And he still hasn't got a hug from Dad, I don't think. That's what we're waiting for. There is Twan Hasemans in the white shirt. I don't think Liam Hasemans can fully believe it right now. I think he's going to wake up for the next few days, check out EuroNASCAR.com, check out the point standings, read the article and go, okay, cool, it happened. It definitely happened. Liam Hasemans is our EuroNASCAR 2 2022 champion. He's going to get the helmet off, and then we're going to hear from this young man who has worked so hard this year. Everyone wants to shake his hand and congratulate him. But I'm sure we will hear from him in just a second. Andre, over to you.
Of course, first, but now, Proficiat, you're in the cycle. You're a EuroNASCAR 2 champion.
Yeah, I cannot believe it. I mean, you know, coming from the beginning of the season, you know, first race car start ever in Valencia, coming from go-karting, immediately winning the championship, and so close battle all the time. I mean, with Alberto, you know, he was leading in the beginning of the season, me making progress every week. I mean, yeah, I cannot describe the words. It just was an awesome weekend. We couldn't hope for more. I mean, I'm speechless, damn it. It's so crazy. Oh, thank you.
Never ever a red wheel banner on your car, but you were there in the very last race. Just talk us through the first laps when CEST was on your bumper and even touched you.
Yeah, no, that was, yeah, it was such a hectic race, man. I mean, you know, we came, and yeah, I saw he was so fast, you know, with that number 5 car. So I knew, yeah, we just have to get a great start. He tried to pass me there. I had to defend all the time. Congrats to him as well. You know, I mean, it has been such a championship battle all the way from the beginning till the end. From yesterday, the 3 points. There he is. Thank you, man. Thanks, yes. Yeah, it was just awesome. I mean, I had to defend all the time, so yeah, but it worked out. Incredibly happy.
Again, Proficiat, thank you so much.
Yes! Thanks, man.
And the assembled masses join in the celebrations now with Hazemans. There's Paul Dupro. And he's even got a phone call.
Merci, putain!
He's, I think, got some family ringing in.
de moi en français. Non, c'est incroyable. Incroyable.
I've never seen a phone call in Victory Lane before, but EuroNASCAR is unique in a lot of ways. What's not unique is a Hendrix Motorsport car at the top of the championship. 3 consecutive titles in EuroNASCAR 2 for the Hendrix Motorsport team. Certainly, in terms of teams to race with, Hazemans picked the right one, but it was a great season as well for this man, Vladimir Osiortzis. He couldn't quite get the win, but let's hear from him now with Andre.
I think after this race, after you tried to pass Hazemans, we can say you did everything to win the race and to have a fair shot in the championship for Hazemans and NASCAR as well, because you gave 100%, right?
Yeah, sure. Hazemans defend very well. Also keep in mind that I was thinking about the 3rd place in the championship, so as I saw, Dubek was 2 places back, I think, so I thought about the 3rd place at least for the championship. I could, of course, to take more risk, but it will be too dangerous, and you know, when you are playing for the top 3, you have to think clever first of all, and that's what I did. I am sorry, of course, for Alberto. I am very happy for this battle all the year. It was an interesting year. I would like to thank all my team, Academy Motorsport, my physiotherapist during the last 2 weeks. It's unbelievable for me to come here and keep racing and finishing 3rd place in the championship relay.
So thanks again for the great battle with Liam Hazemans. I think you did everything you could to keep this championship battle intense, and you were 100% fair, so thank you so much for that.
Thank you. We are keep racing safe first of all, and yes, we are trying to give the best possible action for the people who watch. See you next year.
Thank you so much, man.
Yes.
I'm sure we will see him next year in some capacity. Does EuroNASCAR Pro await, potentially? Oh, and now Liam Hazemans is on FaceTime. He's the man of the moment, isn't he, Liam Hazemans? Goodness me. But Martin Dubek finishing 5th place, Vladimir Osiortzis finishing 2nd. To Osiortzis' point, I believe that does net him 3rd place in the championship, because there were 4 points between them. And Dubek was outscored by 6 there. So yes, Vladimir Osiortzis will take 3rd place in the championship if the current results are the final results. And just getting some word from down in the pit lane that unfortunately Miguel Gomez with the 46 car, that's a chassis damage scenario after that collision with the tyre barrier. And the wall subsequently. And what does that mean? Well, that means, unfortunately, that Roman Iannetta isn't going to take part in the final race in EuroNASCAR Pro. And I think we are about ready to hear from AutoNASCAR. Andre, over to you.
Thank you so much. Yes, we had a lot of joy there, but I have to talk to you as well. Amazing season for you, but not with the end you had hoped for, right?
I mean, we were unlucky this year. If I think about the season, I never did any mistake, and all the points that I lost were because Ezeman's teammates threw him in the wall in Vallelunga, and in Zolder I broke the gearbox. I was forced to restart 16th. I mean, I did my best, and I did my best also this weekend. This was not our track. I mean, for me, it was not my track. I wasn't fast enough, and Ezemas was faster than everybody, so yeah, he deserved it this weekend. But when in the end you didn't do any big mistake and you lose the championship, it's like that. This is motorsport. Sometimes you're lucky. I was lucky in 2019 when I won the championship on the motorbike. I was unlucky this season, but the level was so high that the small details decided the finish. What makes me happy is that this weekend Ezeman's proved that he's very, very fast. So he was not that fast at the beginning. He was super fast now in the end, so he deserved it. I'm a bit sad that CEST never actually tried to pass him.
But then to lap 1 he was really making contact even with Hazemans. He was pushing him in the back 2 times during the race. So
I know, yeah. Nothing went the right way this weekend. Also in the starts, I was always behind CEST, and CEST never had a good start. So Ezeman's had free track, and he always managed to get in the front. And this track is like a little Monte Carlo. It's fast, but you can't really overtake. The overtaking point is just the final corner. In turn 1, you have to be crazy to try and overtake, but eventually you can do it. I don't know what to say. We'll try again next year. Maybe we'll do 2 classes, I don't know.
So from my side, just very easy. Thank you so much for an amazing season.
Seems like we might have lost the interview feed right at the end there, but I'll also extend my thanks to AutoNASCAR. He has brought a lot of eyeballs to the EuroNASCAR series. He has brought his supporters from his YouTube channel, and he has made this year extra special. And to his point, he didn't really make many mistakes this year. The gearbox failed at Zolder in race 1, and that compromised his race 2 as well because of starting position. Hazemans, though, came on incredibly strong towards the end of the season, and the championship donuts went his way. He might eat a few donuts on Monday as well, allow him some celebrations. I'm sure the drinks will be flowing this evening as well for the youngster. I'm not actually sure what the drinking age is in Croatia, but I'm sure he will get to celebrate one way or another. And Liam Hazemans, jubilant as our EuroNASCAR 2 champion in 2022.
Bro, you have to do it, huh? I mean, what's point racing if you stay behind,
Just hearing it. Sounds like an interesting conversation, but not sure who that was actually. Having a chat in front of the live in front of one of our live mics, but you see Liam Hazemans in discussion with TV crews far and wide. He's the man of the moment right now. He's the man that needs to be on the podium shortly, I'm sure. But right now we're lapping in the celebrations for Liam Hazemans. And well, they're already doing the podiums, so hopefully he's there. In fact, yes, he has moved himself over towards the podium area. A good runners-up position then for Vladimiros Teortis. A solid 3rd place for AutoNASCAR. But get ready for the cheer. Here comes the champ. There you go, Liam Hazemans to the top step. Liam Hazemans is the winner of the race and the 2022 EuroNASCAR 2 champion. It's not often that you win the championship in your debut season or win the championship with a victory, but that's exactly what Liam Hazemans did. He won the championship by taking the win here in Grobnik in the season decider, by wrapping up the NASCAR GP Croatia EuroNASCAR 2 races all for himself. He won each race despite not being on pole position for either he managed to secure both wins, and now he secures the big trophy as the winner of the NASCAR GP Croatia. He is, though, more importantly, the EuroNASCAR 2 champion. There we go. Liam Hasemans, you heard him getting emotional in the interview with Andre Viegold. And I think those emotions and those celebrations are going to spill into the afternoon, evening, and the following morning. He sprays the champagne and claims a championship. And a good cheers there with Alberto Nasca. You can tell that Nasca is disappointed. You can tell that Nasca feels like he maybe should have won this championship this year without a few incidents and a few misfortunes. As he alluded to, he's taken championship glory before on 2 wheels, and he's been very competitive on 4 wheels before joining us in EuroNASCAR. And we know for a fact that he'll come back swinging in years to come. Glory for Nasca could be in the near future. Interesting that he said he was looking at potentially doing 2 classes next year. That would be exciting. Nasca will be the runner-up in the championship. Liam Hasemans will be both the EuroNASCAR 2 champion and the EuroNASCAR 2 rookie champion. So he is going to have double glory here. We've had the overall podium up on the stand. Next up, we will have the championship presentation for Liam Hasemans. Here he comes now. He's a happy, happy young man. Very personable driver is Liam Hasemans. Very easy to talk to in the paddock. Here we go. He lifts the trophy. He is the champion in 2022. It's not going to sink in for a while, I don't think. But his first season as a car driver is also his championship season in EuroNASCAR 2. Liam Hasemans will no doubt be looking at his options for 2023. It'd be great to see him have a full crack at the EuroNASCAR Pro title. But I said it yesterday, with the sheer level of performance in his first season, you have to wonder what the future may hold for this young man. When you see someone do this well in their first season of car racing, your mind ventures to all sorts of possibilities as to what his future may hold in EuroNASCAR and well beyond it. Of course, Mike Hasemans, a GT racing star, competed at Le Mans 24 Hours several times. That's one of Liam's older brothers, and his father, Twan Hasemans, also a sports car stalwart, a factory Alpha driver at one time in the 1970s. You have to wonder if Liam Hasemans is going to carve a whole new chapter in the legacy of the Hasemans name. Here's the podium then for the Legend Trophy for this race. Roberto Benedetti claiming 3rd place, Paolo Valeri in 2nd, and Melvin de Groot rounding out our podium on the top step. 3rd and 2nd place trophies presented, and here comes the Victor's Trophy for Melvin de Groot, who will also be the Legend Trophy champion. He He had a good lead coming into this one, and he will have only further cemented his status as champion. I think he would have quite liked an overall podium here at the end of the year. He was very close to NASCAR at the back of the podium standings. He was there in 4th place, knocking on the door. He never quite got there, but I'm sure de Groot will be back, and he will be quicker than ever next year. Third place in the rookie trophy. That goes to Thomas Pontonen, who joins us on the podium. Of course, NASCAR and Heijmans will be back on the podium once again here. Heijmans will also, of course, receive the Rookie Trophy Championship in due course. You must be getting sick of walking up those stairs to the top step of the podium. Third place trophy received by Thomas Pontonen. Second place trophy goes to NASCAR, and Heijmans to the top step once again. So Alberto NASCAR will exit his first season of EuroNASCAR 2 as runner-up in both the rookie and overall classification here. 5 victories across the season, the most top 10s of anybody. Despite the fact he's lost the championship here in the final weekend, I think it's safe to say that Alberto NASCAR has had a stellar first year in EuroNASCAR 2. He alluded to the fact he might try and do both categories next year, and that would be a delight. The best is certainly yet to come from Alberto. One last podium to present you before we go off air, and that will be for the Lady Trophy class. It was Alina Leubnegger that took the win in Lady Trophy today. Mariana Casoli with 3rd place in today's race within the Lady Trophy category. Second place goes to Lily Del Castello. She, I believe, will also be our Lady Trophy champion. It certainly looks like she is happy. And Alina Leubnegger steps to the top step of the podium. She's happy with that result as well. And Alina has definitely worked hard this year. Great to see her on the top step, and great to see her so happy with the result as well. Lily Del Castello, with that 2nd place finish, will still be the Lady Trophy champion by my understanding. Great to see all 3 people on the podium happy with their results, and all 3 of them, I think, very much on good terms. They will also be celebrating, as everyone will be, at the conclusion of a fabulous season for EuroNASCAR 2. It's been a grandstand day of motor racing. It's a day that is far from over, though, of course, because we still have the EuroNASCAR Pro category to come. That will air at 13:45 Central European time, so 13:45. And of course it is no longer CEST, it's CET, because we've had the clocks change overnight. So 12:45 UK time, 13:45 Central European is when we will decide the championship in EuroNASCAR Pro. It will be Alan Day trying to secure the championship. Gianmarco Ercoli is his main challenger. And well, in EuroNASCAR 2, Alberto NASCAR had a fabulous season, but in the end, Liam Heijmans in the final race took the win and the championship. This young man, the young Dutchman, is the 2022 EuroNASCAR 2 champion.